Black Royale 2, The Tides of Tomorrow by Tarree Douglass-Templeton. Now available on Amazon. Now let's get into this interview. Okay, you said since you were about 6 you were writing. Where did you always write? Like, was it like short stories? What was your preference?
It was like, when the teachers assign those assignments where they want you to write those stupid competition books. And, things like that, so I started from there. And I just said, well, after the competition books, what is there? So I just kept writing. I just kept telling stories. And finally, I just came to a point where I had too many competition books. And I said, well, something's got to be done.
Right. Okay. So was there one particular passage you put in there that you like, this is going to be the one? Now I have to turn this into something more.
Well, when I started working on Black Royale 1 last year, I said, I've got to get this out. I just don't know why I'm seeing this amazing story in my head, and I just needed to get it out, especially with the whole Game of Thrones thing going on. And I said, well, that's great, but I don't see much of us represented on the screen with it, or within its storyline. So I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and delve a little deeper and come up with my own.
That's all right. Well, let's talk about the first one.
Okay.
What makes that one special?
Well, it's the beginning of the story, and it also is the epicenter of where everything starts. It's the gateway to the saga, and it tells you all the information you need in order to read part 2. So if you didn't read part 1, you definitely cannot make it to part 2.
Wow, okay. Yeah, because I was looking at it turned into something.
Well, yeah.
I was really shocked because with part 2, I thought it was a romance novel. That was my first thought. Then it was like, wait a minute. And then I was like, wait a minute again. It was like it turned into suspense. Then it was like, okay, does she have courage? Does she not? What would I do? It was like a self-reflection. It turned into a thing. And I was like, wow.
Well, see, that's the effect I was going for. I wanted that, over here, over there, wham, 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 and then at the middle, like, whoa.
Wow. So, can we get it now?
Yes. My publicist actually went behind my back and uploaded part 2 to Amazon. So if you are interested, you can. It'll only be up for a select amount of time for 72 hours. Available on Amazon right now, and then it'll go back to pre-order before the June 4th release.
Okay. June 4th is the release. What's today? We have to wait a long time. But I can get the first one now, right?
Yes, you can get the first one right now.
Okay. Where can we get that?
That's also available on Amazon and Kindle.
Okay, so tell us about the second one.
Well, the second one, it picks up where the first one left off, and it starts getting a little darker, a little deeper, a little more into what's going on behind the curtains on this island. Like the first one was just more like telling you what's going on currently, but this second one brings you into some more history of the island, some more history of the people, and some more history of the feud, that bloodlust feud that's going on between them.
So could this possibly be a true story?
Well, no, it's not a true story. It's all fiction, black fiction, of course, and it just came into my head.
Wonderful. Okay. So, what can we take out of it?
I would say it gives us a sense of history. It should give everyone a sense of who we are, where we come from. You hear about these stories from our grandparents, our great-grandparents about, the slave trade, Europe trying to enslave us and things like that, but I've never really heard more stories told about it. I hear about, slave plantation and things like that. I wanted to paint us in a different light than others.
Have you ever seen anyone like maybe another author or anyone like that could even compare to you, or like you guys could maybe blend off each other?
Well, my favorite author is Ethan Harris. That's who I learned my writing style from.
Wonderful.
And he just wrote a story like no other. That man could bob and weave in a story, and you would not know what the ending could possibly be. It was unpredictable, and that's how I wanted to write. I wanted it to be where people couldn't guess what was going to happen next. And also it was the storytelling, that deep-rooted storytelling, because he told gay stories, he told all stories, but at the same time he made sure we knew it was for us, by us, devoted to us.
Beautiful. So for the up-and-coming authors, the people who might want to be one or have been thinking about it, what could you say to them?
Don't give up. keep telling your stories. People are definitely interested in fresh stories. Nobody wants to see the same old every 2 weeks. Don't get me wrong, I love Harry Potter and all that, but after the third book, I was kind of tired. I was kind of tired. So, I just wanted to give someone something fresh, something new to grasp onto, a new story. And all authors, our imagination is very vivid, so make sure you definitely don't forget to use it.
Yeah, creativity is everything.
Yeah, it's the backbone of being an author, being a writer, whether you're doing columns for a newspaper, magazine articles, everything, you have to tell and sell the people a story.
So when you're I'm in the mood to write, where would be your favorite place?
Well, I personally like to cuddle up on my couch.
Okay.
I like my couch. And mind you, this is not regular me. This is on the go me. I like to be comfortable. I like to be in a familiar setting, somewhere quiet, somewhere where I can have the ideas pumping. Also, music is a big factor, especially for scene writing. You want it to be where you're bouncing these ideas off of this beat, this song that's going on in your head or whatever, in your MP3s and things and that, your iPods. And it just really helps a lot. But you also have to have a place of sensibility and a place of inspiration. And that could be anywhere. I could be looking at art on the wall and story pops in.
So when you're walking down the street, or standing in the line and you're inspired by something, do you write it down? Do you remember it? Like, how do you?
Well, I call it freelance writing.
Okay,
so like I said, I could be sitting here right now, and just because of our setting, us being here in the gritty city of Baltimore, everybody knows Baltimore is a town with a story. So that would definitely inspire me to, research the culture more, research this side of the river, and see what's going on, and that story would be pumped out quick.
So this isn't a job, this is your passion. This is who you are.
Right.
Okay, there is a difference.
There's a big difference. People who are just into it, like, oh, I dabble, I write, it's kind of part-time.
Right.
It's almost like a part-time hustler.
Exactly.
Nobody likes a part-time hustler. But you want to make sure that if you grasp onto it, you're fully invested, because the stories and everything that you're promoting and putting out is based on your in-tuneness. You gotta be with it. If you're not fully invested, how can you give a fully invested product?
That's true. But I feel like when I was able to read, I can tell that this was more. Like, I wanted more. Like, if you turn this into a movie, or if you said there's a play, I would go see it. You know what I mean? Because I care. Like, I lose interest easily, so I was like, but you literally grabbed me, and I just was like,
I'm kind of like that too. I lose interest fairly quickly with things that aren't like intriguing, where I want to know more, or those cliffhangers, those twists and turns, and I'm like, boring is becoming normal. We don't want that to become normal. Not with our culture, not with all the things we have to offer.
So what made you say, I'm gonna take the road less traveled?
Well, you see everybody writing, and you see everybody coming up with ideas, but it's all kind of the same. Like I said, they either want to put us in the hood, or they want to put us on a plantation picking a cotton field. And I just felt like, in my mind, we've been plenty of other places other than that. You can check the history books for the facts. And I felt like we should definitely be capitalizing on that. We should be telling those tales to encourage not only our current generation that we're encompassed in, but the ones to follow us, to let them know, hey, look, this is our story, not what they told you.
You're something. You are. You really are. What would you want your fans to know?
I want my fans to know that you're not fans. You're family.
I like it.
When you read one of Tarree Douglass-Templeton's books, we did. So if I see you walking down the street and you say, hey, look, I read your book. All right, sis, what you cooking for dinner? Something like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't like a lot of hang-ups. I don't like a lot of labels. I don't like a lot of boxes. I believe the world was created to not have those things. And I believe everything is trying to make us be in this little box. I definitely don't want to play by the rules, and I definitely don't do it with my writing.
So how will we get a signed copy?
Now, what I would do is, once you inform me that you have gotten your copies, I would definitely make a trip back, because I will be down here in about a month. So I definitely wouldn't have a problem swinging by the studio. The studio. And make sure you check out this mixtape. This mixtape is hot cakes.
I appreciate that. So where can we find you?
All right, you can catch me everywhere on Instagram, T Douglas Templeton Maryland. Also on Facebook, Tarree Douglass-Templeton. Or you can catch me around the way.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure sitting
Yes,
with
it
you.
was. Black Royale 2, The Tides of Tomorrow by T. Douglas Templeton. Now available on Amazon.